Children grow and develop at different rates, but sometimes a child is so far behind others in the same age group that there's cause for concern. For children with developmental delays, early intervention can make a world of difference. Doctors say there's a window of opportunity for brain development, and that diagnosing problems early can help delayed children catch up with their peers. Tonight, we meet a special team that's on a mission to provide timely care to kids, even those in Taiwan's most remote corners. Our Sunday special report.
Guided by a therapist, 8-year-old Chi-Chi gets up on her legs. She's had to practice for a long time to be able to stand up by herself. Chi-Chi was born with cerebral palsy and has been in therapy since birth. The kids in this classroom all have some sort of early developmental impairment. They come to the hospital once a week for a 1-hour session of physical therapy.
6、7、8、9、9、9，哎，9、9、9、9、9，怎么一直9？就宕机啊！看前面，这不行，宕机，不能宕机哦。好了，再一次。
Early intervention programs like these aim to help children with developmental delays or physical and mental disabilities. The goal is to get children to realize their potential and to tackle developmental delays.
就是小朋友如果有发展迟缓的话。
When children experience developmental delays, early intervention therapy can help them catch up with their peers before the golden window for brain development closes.
8、9、10，放下。
Human brain development is fastest in the first 3 years of life, making that the ideal period for early intervention. But doctors say that many children miss that window of opportunity because parents fail to notice the signs of developmental delays.
比如说，其他小朋友开始会跑跳的时候，那他走路还是跌跌撞撞的。
For example, other children may have begun running and jumping while your child still has a hard time walking. That could signal a developmental delay in motor skills. Or perhaps other children are speaking in full sentences, but your child can only use single words and has trouble communicating. Perhaps your child is unable to take part in group activities. If they are slower than other children in these areas, we have to pay special attention to them.
There are booklets and charts that can help parents identify whether their newborns have developmental delays.
比如说，我的小朋友比较慢才会走路。
Say that your child learns to walk later than other children do. That's a gross motor skill. Some children might have problems using their hands. That involves fine motor skills. There are children who speak more slowly, who have a stammer, or who have articulation disorders. These signal delays in language development. Another major category relates to behavioral skills. For example, if the children has turned 3 years old but still does not know how to interact with other children, that's a behavioral problem. These are the main 4 kinds of developmental skills.
According to the World Health Organization, between 6 and 8% of children experience some form of developmental delay. To help more children get early intervention when they need it, Linko's Chang'an Memorial Hospital created a specialized task force. It's made up of specialist doctors, physical, functional, and speech therapists, psychologists, special education instructors, and social workers. Together, they go to rural areas to help children in need. Today, the team has traveled to the mountainous Fuxing district in Taoyuan. It took them more than 2 hours to reach their destination, Sanguan Elementary School.
大概有1/3的学生都有接受到早疗的服务。
About 1/3 of our students are receiving early intervention services. These students were transferred to our school this year. I think that many of them have a family background that is not favorable to their development.
The school has 32 students in total from grade 1 to 6. 10 of them, or 1 in every 3, use early intervention services.
大概任教大概将近27年了。
I've worked here for almost 27 years. The kids here, like many other children in rural areas, belong to families with limited economic resources. They may also be culturally deprived. Some of their inner needs may not be met. They may need help from their parents, who are usually busy working the land or stressed with other work matters. Some children are being brought up by their grandparents. Some live in single-parent households, or they may be orphans.
The team from Chang'an Memorial Hospital knows just how vital early intervention can be. For more than 2 years now, they have provided therapy to children in rural areas. The work involves more than 30 experts.
把治疗带进社区其实需要相当多的资源，因为
Taking this kind of therapy to the community level takes up a lot of resources because you don't just need doctors. Speech therapists, physical therapists, cognitive therapists, psychologists all have to go up those mountains as well. It's quite a large team, but early intervention is necessary because it affects the child's overall development.
To make sure each child gets the proper attention, the team tailors its therapies on a case-by-case basis. This allows the team to offer the best care to each child in the limited time available.
帮我看，这是什么动物？熊熊哎，好，熊熊先放这里哦。那这个呢？答对了。小朋友通常都是先理解才会说。
Usually, a child needs to be able to understand something before he or she can say it. Many parents might ask a child to repeat after them, to copy their speech. But then the child is just saying something that's meaningless, so we focus more on comprehension.
一般来说，在做早疗的话，你有机会在早期在做完治疗之后。
Generally speaking, if you can start therapies at the early stages of development, you can improve cognitive scores by 1 standard deviation. For instance, you can raise IQ scores by 15 points. That's a considerable figure.
The medical team's work goes beyond looking for children with developmental delays in rural areas. They also try to help children in urban areas catch up with their peers before the developmental window of opportunity closes. The team designed an inclusive playground at Chang'an Memorial Hospital, one that can be used by children at all levels of development. Xiaojun says he can't get enough of the playground. For children like him, few other places like this exist.
I take him to other playgrounds as well, but I'm always a little afraid because other children aren't aware of his situation. So I think this kind of inclusive playground is quite good. It lets kids with special needs enjoy more types of environments.
传统游乐器材这些小朋友没有办法参与。
Traditional playgrounds leave out children like them. Inclusive playgrounds are suited to them. Children with special needs can go to the playgrounds for training exercises. Exercising at a playground feels different from exercising in a hospital. Because inside the hospital, there are sources of stress that might make kids cry. Doing the exercises in a playground setting can be more helpful compared to doing them in a hospital.
This inclusive playground has about 10 different installations where children can play together while honing their developmental skills.
你会看到它基本上是传统的这些设施的变形版。
You can see that the equipment's like what you'd find at traditional playgrounds, but modified. It's easier to get on and off. There's more room for error. For example, if you sit at an angle, you still get support. You won't slide down the way you would on a regular seesaw. Another thing is that the playground provides rich cognitive stimulation. The height of the equipment is also well adjusted for these kids. Some of it has been adapted so that the wheelchair users can get on and play as well.
Another special thing about the inclusive playground is that there are volunteers on duty, ready to play educational games with the kids and help them work on their motor and cognitive skills.
其实有很多不同类的刺激。
There are a lot of different stimuli. Some stimulate the vestibular system, for instance, the swings. Some stimulate cognitive and hand functions. There are things that you can move around with your hands. The playground was designed to let children exercise their gross motor skills, their fine motor skills, and their balance. They can experience a variety of sensory stimuli. The playground offers a very complete experience.
According to the World Health Organization, every dollar spent on early intervention saves $3 in special education down the line. That is to say, early intervention therapy does not just benefit children and their families, but society as a whole.
其实有时候心态慢慢的去平复啦，平常心，尽力啦。
Sometimes I do feel more at peace with it all. I think I'm doing all I can. I just have to do my best so that I don't regret things later.
For parents, early intervention can offer hope that their child will thrive despite developmental delays. For the child, early intervention gives the best possible chance of reaching one's full potential.